I think it's time to go live. Over.
Yeah, 10. 61, trying early.
Hey, I hear you. I just sat down. 61 on a almost early, almost late. You're sounding good. We got you checked in. Over.
You're sounding good tonight, too.
All right, yeah, a little quiet with the skip tonight. We'll see what happens. This is your Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, looks like we're off and running and up and over whatever it is we have to do. Let me find the control room. What is this, the longest day? Is that what we're doing? The first day of summer, or it's going to be coming up? And we had our coolest day of the entire month. It was 80 degrees. But it was fun. It was nice. Everybody is having or has had a good time. I'm looking at the meters to make sure that it appears that we're working, and I think so. The Old Tube Radio Network on the air, here live in Central California on channel 11, 27085. Also streaming at oldtuberadio.net, and there is a link at that place, at that site, to check us in on the video as well. The purpose, of course, is to promote the use and distribute information about Old Tube radios on your 11-meter Class D citizen radio service. We'll be chatting with the SWL, see what they're up to as they check in. And then, of course, our local collectors and yourselves listening in, letting us know what you've been up to for the week. We get the radios checked in tonight, maybe some of your favorites, we hope. The Echo Link is up and running, the Crossband likewise, and we'll see what we can do. Got a check-in. Where's my check-in page? Oh, I have to go over here to actually turn it on. So we do have an SWL 61 on an early. Yeah, there we go. Who else needs an early check-in on the Old Tube Radio Network? Over.
We're checking in. Yeah, WL 37 Dennis, and we're in war in Iran.
Okay, yeah, I have no idea. I have been at a function all day at the radio station where I haven't been at the controls. I just got back, put everything up. I think I saw a picture of some B-2 bombers going somewhere, so we'll see what's up with that.
37, did you get me there, Dennis?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my transmitter work. Okay, yeah, I got that. I think I got in late because I've been at a function at the radio station. All right, I'm still trying to get the transmitter to work. How about that? All right, I've got the transmitter to work finally. I've got you 37. I've also got 24. Who else was there?
145. 56 will take one of those chickens.
All right, we got a lot of chickens. We got 145 and 56 here on the local thing. I'm going to get all those up in the big board here, so hang on. All right, anybody else for an early check-in on the Old Tube Radio Network? Up in Coarsegold, 195. Jim, I've got you. Over. All right, and we will get started here. I have a higher noise level tonight on the static part, but the skip and things hasn't started rolling in, so we'll see what happens. Here on the Old Tube Radio Network, my name is Dennis, one of the many net controllers doing the OTR thing. If I can keep all the stuff together. Let's go over to 00, and Robert and Teresa out there in Hendersonville, Tennessee, checked in early, so we've got 00 on. We'll also get the, it's working. We'll also get the SWL number 1. We'll also get the SWL number 2. Mr. OBP is out on the video chat window, So if you go out there, let Kevin know that he is 9 pounds and good modulation at Chestnut and Herndon. And I'm trying to see if my radios will clear here. So let me get rid of that. And it should be. I don't know why that's still showing up on the other thing here. Why that's showing ICM 710. That is a strange thing going on. Let me go to that. So yeah, that is on the other thing there. Oh, that's showing ICM 710. Let me get rid of the double audio. All these little gremlins that can happen. Over to SWL3. All right, there's just too many random wires going on here. SWL3, that would take us to, let me get 3 up there, thank you. SWL5, Levon. I'm looking on the big list because there are many places to see the check-ins as they come in. SWL7. And I know Ed is out there because I talked to him earlier, so we'll get the X in the square. 007 Extreme Seedbee is checking in for his weekly checkup, and he is checking in and looking good. Let me show you. That's the guy right there. Put it right over my face. 27.025, although he gets around to a lot of places, a lot of things. So good to have you in tonight. I hope all is well out that way, and you passed your checkup until next week. Let's head way out to Sangertown, where I bet they're hearing us tonight, SWL9. Over to SWL10. Had some great check-ins from Dwayne and Chrissy last week on the short skip. We'll see if that happens. Oh, there's Levon. Let me put the 5 back in there. And seeing what is good. Who else is listening in tonight? Captain Robert is in. And he's still hanging in there. All right, well, good to see that they've got you able to get you in. And, hopefully no complications. But it's nice to hear you tonight. And people have been asking about you, Captain Robert, so I'm glad you stopped by to wave a hand, as they say. Thanks for joining us, the Old Tube Radio Network. Looking good. SWL 10 and 30, we see you there. I'm getting the X in the square. Let's go to SWL 11 and 12. Mr. Cornbread and Dapper Dan. If I can get the 12 to pop up, there it is. Internet is slow. Went into makeup today. Wardrobe looking pretty good. The tie is straight. I like that. So no problem. And even if I'm a distant second to Dapper Dan, that is okay. At least I'm on the top 5 tonight. 11 and 12. We've got you checked in. I don't know why I'm seeing the old item up there. I'm going to have to do a reset maybe. And I reset something here. I think I know the thing I have to reset, and it's probably not going to work. So this is going to be interesting. Let's see if I go to that. See, that is not good. That is not good that the radio is. Let me try a different URL. Let me see if it's actually looking at that. Yeah, see, it's ignoring me. Well, that's not good. Well, I'll do that. Maybe at the when we switch radios, I'll reset. Have to reset the other device here, and we'll see what happens. All right, back to the roll call. We made it to 10, 11, and 12. How about SWL 13?
How about 7 late?
7 late is good. I got you checked in because I knew you were out there, but we'll do the official check-in right now. Over.
Yeah, I was having to take care of Mom, so thank you.
All right, good deal. You are back, and does it show up there? Okay, at least it shows up there. I don't know where the other page is off. So 7 is in. Crossband is up. Let me go to the other page and make sure that is refreshing. Refreshing the comments. Yeah, all right, it's trying. Let's go to SWL 14.
Hey, good evening, Dennis, and all the other SWLs out there. 14 checking in.
All right, 14, you are up and running here in Midtown Fresno through the noise tonight, which is basically just static. I don't hear the skip land, but I hear you sounding good.
Yeah, thank you. I hear a little bit of skip, but lots of static out here as well. So looking forward to this evening. Maybe it'll quiet on down.
Indeed. And Dwayne says that's what it was, the Browning, Ed. It was the Browning we heard last week. And Dwayne, I talked to Ed earlier, and I was trying to find the replay from last week's old Tube Radio Network, and I couldn't remember where it was in the system. But it is there. I wanted to do a replay of that because it sounded great. We'll see if we can get the conditions tonight. Thank you, Sean, for checking in. And in fact, I'm going to bring up, I've got the DX map here somewhere. Should be right there. That's the updated version. And as you can see, it's trying to get some conditions here. We've got stuff around Utah. Northern Idaho is saying it's there. Washington is saying it's there. I don't think it's exactly as accurate as I want, but we'll do an update later, so stay tuned to your radio. Where are we going? Let me get back to the right screen here so I can say hello to, and that's not the right screen, say hello to SWL 15 out there where it's tomorrow sometime, Alpha 173. And Hans is right there, right here in the summer heat. Now, it's nice today. If this was the coolest day, I can't remember an end of June where it didn't even barely make 80 degrees, because normally it's about 20 degrees more here. So it's a nice, pleasant day. I will open the window, but you can see the shadows in the background. That is the breeze that's blowing as we have some weather condition coming in and going out there tonight. SWL 16, of course. Charlie right behind the screen helping me out as usual with all the stuff, trying to make me look good despite my best efforts. Thank you, Charles. Got you checked in. Over to SWL 17. And let's see, Cola Radio, thanks for checking in. Montamba Lake says it's 100 degrees in Colorado, so they got our weather we're supposed to be having. We're sending it your way. There is some kind of cold front going on with a lot of wind and things of that nature, so check the barometer. If it starts to drop, you know why. SWL 18. Hello to Jed, UDX 183, jumping in. Also, hello to Mark Sandquist, William Curtis is in there. Thank you. We're looking good. The makeup department did good tonight. Sherlock Holmes checking in from northern Minnesota, saying good evening to all the items of interest, modes of operation on frequency tonight. I did get the early check in for SWL 79. Kenny is out there. Oh, and Kenny is selling some radios. He's got a Hamrick, an old ICOM, and then I think he's got the Navajo radio as well. I'm seeing if I can remember what the number was on the Navajo, but he is getting rid of some. Yeah, it's a 458, which is one of the good ones. I can't remember if that's the single meter or the dual meter, but that is a nice radio. SWL 19 with the cue cards tonight from beautiful somewhere around Derby, New York. Staying up late as always. Thank you, Chet, for what you do here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Another station, another guy out there making me look good. Harvey was at the microphonium earlier. If he hasn't gone into the nap mode, if he hasn't had his graham cracker, chocolate milk, and is sitting on the nap time bed, he might be right there. SWL 20.
Yes, I am here. No graham crackers tonight. Okay, please check me in, 29 and 54 also. And I don't know if I'll have a radio of interest tonight. Depends on if I can get the thing fired up. Okay. Oh, and I still have 2 Mark IIs, Browning Golden Eagle Mark IIs, just a transmitter and just a receiver for sale. So if anybody wants to know, just, interested in it, get a hold of me. It's easy to do. 2 Mark II stations. Okay. Thank you, Dennis.
And thanks for stopping by, Harvey. Looking good. Big Rich 6520. It has been a while. I know you've been a busy guy, lots of stuff going on, so it's good you can break away, jump into the radio room, go digital for a moment, go to zeros and ones, and wave a hand to the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello to Peter. Will we have some conditions to British Columbia tonight? The little DX cloud was sort of heading up your way. 428 mobile tonight, 3,000 feet above sea level, sitting on top of Diamond Head. Beautiful sunset, some conditions coming in, but not California. Harvey sips Ovaltine. He got it from me. I sent him some of the good stuff, some of the malt, Ovaltine, and that's why he is. Red on the road. Harvey's asking. No, Harvey is not asking for a Mark II. He has a couple of Marks II. Harvey, are you still there?
Yes.
All right, someone said you're asking for a Mark II, but I heard that you have a Mark II. Is that correct? That maybe you would be, it would be for sale. Is that correct?
Yes, I have 2 Mark II stations for sale. Each one is just the transmitter and the receiver. I don't have the trans adapter or any of those other things. So it's just the transmitter and a receiver, 2 Golden Eagle Mark IIs, and I think I've had both of them on the air once I did a little work on them. So there wasn't that much interest in them before, so I put them out in the garage, which is where they're at right now. But they're both for sale, yes.
All right, we'll talk about a little more later when we start glowing in the dark, but always a good thing if you're looking to add to your collection, start a collection. Anybody locally would like to get a radio because it'll sound good. It sounds good on the Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing across the Universal Media Netweb to everywhere, including Texas. Hello, Rob. Greetings from Texas via the YouTube link. And enjoying the net. Hopefully, if you get some wire up in the air that's for HF, I could probably hear you on just about any band from Texas. Texas always comes in good everywhere. So thanks for joining us tonight. We're heading over to SWL 21. I will keep the transmitter keyed here, and we're going over to the YouTube video. It's going on live now. It's Old Radio Night. Let me bring up the audio.
Hey, Jed, where do you see the numbers at?
And that is Mr. JT. He's on the Lafayette Telsat SSB 140. You can tell he's monitoring Old Radio Night, or Old Tube Radio Night. Old Tube Radio for Old Radio Night. So here we go. out to Kakalaki. I'm going to turn the audio, but we'll give you some. He's listening in. Let's get the video going here.
I see the meter over there at the top left, and down below it, that
There it is.
graph.
He's on
And
17.
then up the top, it's got ICM 710, and I don't see no number on there at all.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My video. I'm going to have to reset that. And boy, he's delayed tonight. He is way delayed. All right, we'll come back because he's delayed by about 5 minutes.
Because of what's going on, the internet is just hammered.
Yeah, there's the thing. So see, that's how he tells what's checking in. So I'll come back. So okay, here's what we have to do. I have to. This is like Back to the Future. Hello, 21. I know you are listening now. It's about 5 minutes time difference on the internet, but we're listening to you now. So go ahead and check in, and let's hear from the stations on Channel 17 tonight. We're listening.
UDX 21, SWL 21, South Carolina checking in.
UDX 183, South Carolina also checking in.
Come on, 106.
All right, we're getting them live and direct now. This is how they used to do it in the old days with the satellite link-ups. I'm surprised they ever did that. Anybody listening on Channel 17, there is just no skip here tonight on the West Coast. So, but you just wait. I like that radio. What is that tonight? That's a Lafayette Telstat
I see it now. I was way back.
SSB 140.
I'm surprised they ever did that. Anybody listening on Channel 17, there is just no skip here tonight on the West Coast.
Okay, I think he's updated now.
106, Alf, come on.
Taking an old buzzer transmission here. 106 sounding good. From Old Radio Night in the Wasama Swamps of South Carolina, you're listening to the live replay from Old Radio Night, SC21S.C. over on YouTube. Check that out. Okay, I think we got you at 21, so we're going to go back to the roll call. But thanks for the link up tonight.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yeah.
21, South Carolina. We back out.
I don't think anybody does this. A coast-to-coast live feed on YouTube, checking in back and forth. It's confusing, but it works. All right, I'm going to go back to this video because my other video is locked up. I will reset that when we go back to the tube radio. I'm not going to do it now because I think it's going to mess up the video, so we'll try that back. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio is glowing in the dark. We're here in Central California looking for SWL 22.
Somehow, I got behind on the other laptop.
And 22, he is in Anchorage, Alaska. How about 23 Skidoo? I'm looking tonight for the Espresso Trucking Company at the end of the net here. We might see if we can jump in with a little tribute to Espresso Trucking Company and Brian Wilson as well. They stole his tune for a little ditty, but we might play that here. SWL 24, thank you, Joseph, for checking in. Let's head way out north to SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis 25, checking in with absolutely no traffic.
No traffic here and no traffic down the 41. You are sounding good tonight, so your antenna is still upright. Over.
Well, at least I think it is. Last time I looked at it. Anyway, thanks, Dennis. Might as well check in the 74 item as well. Thank you.
All right, we will do that. Sounding good. Thanks for checking in. No need to go to the crossband tonight. Your yay-yum sounding wonderful. Thanks for checking in. Over to page 2. The crossband is up. Is Studio G active tonight? SWL 27.
27 checking in live from Studio G. Oops.
Yeah.
Where I have 78 degrees out here, Dennis.
I know. Can you believe that? This is, in theory, the first day of summer, right? In the hottest place on the earth, almost. And it's not even 70 degrees or 80 degrees. What's up with that? Over.
Roger that. No, I'm really enjoying it out here. But, you know, couple more weeks and I'll be sweating out here and got the cattle fan on. Thanks for checking me in. Number 27.
All right, well, thanks for checking in. We've got the crossband up and running, so FM to AM to across the internet and everywhere else, you are sounding good. Thanks for doing the extra effort to join us here on the Old Tube Radio Network, 73 KB6 GFD.
Yeah, I-6.
All right, nice crossband check-in. Let's go up the road where it was probably because of the Delta breeze, and we'll find out from Gary tonight what's going on. So he's probably got soup. He's probably got some winter fare going on. SWL 28, what's happening up in Sacramento with that Delta breeze? And I bet it's more than just a little breeze tonight with the wind that we have been getting going on tonight. 28 checking in, return from San Francisco. It was 65 earlier. Made it to the green room on time for popcorn, pretzels, and plenty of cold drink specials and our new big screen TV. You know what? I went in there and they're watching some type of sports. They could have the Old Tube Radio Network on there on the big screen, but I think they've made a good choice putting something on there besides the Old Tube Radio Network. We'll watch the replay tomorrow. Thanks, Gary, and I know it was cool there. It sounds like you made it back to the air chair, and it all is well. Over. Gary says it's 72 in Sacramento at the end of June. That is crazy stuff. SWL 29 proxy check-in. All right, I think I'm on the air here. Oh, Neil, let's go to 147 while you are here, because I know it is late out there in Kakalaki. What kind of conditions were you guys getting this week? Weather hot and humid. Typical Carolina summer conditions, quiet this afternoon. I have not looked at the A&K index, the sunspot numbers. I probably have some type of solar activity going on. Then he said it opened up at 7. New England, South and Midwest contacts. So good stuff. We're hoping it'll open up tonight for a little bit of Skipland check-ins. Thank you, Neil, for checking in. Sounding good. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. We are here on Channel 11 live. That's 27085 on your 11-meter radio, whether it's Class D or not, or however you are listening, streaming at oldtuberadio.net, a video link, all sorts of good stuff. Doing what we have been doing since almost 40 years of doing this, checking in the tube radios, kind of giving those that can't remember or weren't around in the days of 11 meters when it... when you could get on the air and actually have a conversation, right? That's what we do. That's what we do here. And we do it with the old radios. It's sort of like jumping in your 59 Pontiac with the big tail fins and driving around the block. It's fun stuff. Let's go over to SWL 30. Dwayne, of course, we got you. He has got the Browning ready. He's got the Robin ready for a little bit of possible conditions. SWL 31 checked in as 00, and this is our last of the 8 weeks. So you guys did good. You've got 8 weeks all the way across. That means you'll be in the running again. So don't throw away the little post-it that says we're 00, because you could do it again. Robert and Teresa, thank you. Let's go to SWL 32.
Break channel.
The break channel. This is the Old Tube Radio Network. Go ahead, over. It has been a long while, but of course we always have the space ready to go, 650, and the X will be in the square, and it's good to hear your voice. Over.
Over. Have a good evening and good weekend. From 7,000 feet from my radio, I'm calling.
Sounding good. 650, checking in. Who else is coming up? Hans is there. Hello, Hans. If I missed you before, there's the 15 check-in. Also want to say hello to, Rob. Romeo Uniform is listening in. He's got the 5 elements pointing directly here to the Old Tube Radio Network. But it's too much Aloha covering them up. All right, so you're actually getting skipped. You're getting the second hop off of Hawaii. We don't, as you can tell, we don't hear them here unless, of course, you are pointed. You know, if you point a beam that way, you might hear them. So maybe things will open up. We are not in our gray line just yet. It is the longest day of the year, I do believe. So we'll see what happens. So Thank you, Rob. Rob is one of our longtime SWLs who actually does it with the antenna on the radio, tuning us in from Colorado. I'll have to bring up his Radio Shack picture. Let's keep going. SWL, if I didn't call it, 32. SWL 33, that's myself, Bozo Control, who has been missing for some time around here, and anybody else that wanders in the door. Who has wandered in the door? Hello to up in the balcony, Ware Shoals, South Carolina, Middletown, Ohio, Yellow Springs, Ohio, Sacramento, California, Edmonton, Alberta. We are waiting for the skip from you guys. Centerville, Virginia. Hello to Fresno, Eugene, Oregon. It's possible. It's possible we could get some short skip to Eugene tonight. I don't know. We were on 40 meters, I'd be talking to you. Derby, New York, Plymouth, Minnesota, and a host of others listening in. Is Jimmy out there tonight? SWL 34. All right, now I'm starting to hear the skip coming in. I'll get Jimmy and Railroader and Captain Chaos checked in. Mr. Bill, Red Monkey Communications out there in Cheyenne, Wyoming, who, if he does it right, we could probably hear him direct. We've done it before, so we'll be listening in. Over to SWL 36. SWL 37. Chris checked in earlier. If you're listening, Chris, there's the official check-in. SWL 38, Sam was in. And where did I saw him just moments ago. He says he'll be trying. Let's listen for Byron, California. Here we go. He would need one set of stacked Gizmochi 10-element beams pointed down the Central Valley corridor, and still I think it would be a little bit rough. Let's go to SWL 39. SWL 40.
SWL 40 checking in from downtown Fresno, Chinatown at a nice, very nice 72.8 degrees.
Yeah, can you believe it is June? Why don't these temperatures happen during field day? When is field day? Coming up next week? It's not going to be 72 degrees.
Field day, I think, is next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend. And it's not going to be 72. That'd be a great field day. People might actually show up. All right, Larry, you are sounding good. Thanks for checking in. Over.
Yes, it will be lots of fun at field day at Pine Ridge School. So anyone is welcome to show up and participate in the radio action. Over.
Sounds like fun. We'll have to convince Aaron to steal the HF radio up there at between 8 and 10 and dial it down to you-know-where and give us a check-in, because I think he's going to have a line of sight. Even though it's 20 miles away, 30 miles away, we should have a line of sight for that. So that should be fun. And Rob saying he had a good copy on the ditch banks with Ron and the gang last night. Of course, I'm missing all the ditch banks because we have those Friday night concerts going on at the radio station. One more next Friday, and then I will be able to get back to my favorite place to be on a Friday evening, which is the Ditch Banks Sideband Net. We will talk about that coming up. Let's go to New York for Road Dog 507. Over. What are they doing tonight? Somebody said the internet is slow because everybody is online looking around doing stuff. SWL 42. I've got a proxy check-in for Jerry and the gang.
Thank you.
And then SWL 43. SWL 44. It's quiet enough if 360, if Ray was out there, he might actually hear me tonight. Over. And who is that, Richie? Yeah, 362 Foxman is out there. I've been super busy. I'm going to have to catch up on the videos. Sometimes I'll I'll jump in live when you're out there, when you've got things going on. But Foxman out here tonight, staying up late, wait for some type of skip to come in. I just got a second Turner Plus 2 yesterday. All right. Sounds like a good deal. Check the 9-volt battery, right? Or if it's the mobile, it's that funky 7-volt, whatever it is, that it's unobtainable. But the desk mic has the 9 volts. So just make sure it's not sitting in there too long and corroded. You'll be good to go. Let's go to SWL 45. And hello to Paul and Kelly, possibly listening in. We miss you guys, but I know you tune in to hear your favorite radios checking in. What's happening in Wisconsin tonight? Is Arlen listening in? SWL 46. And Rockwood, Knoxville, Rockwood, having the same kind of temperatures we have tonight, although you're later. We're not going to have 76. We're going to have like 60 degree weather tonight when the sun goes down. Let's go to SWL 47.
Good evening from the Radio Lounge, this SWL 47, where I think our heart rate might have shot up a little bit because on my non-operative Browning R27 S23, I used to have a Turner Plus 2 mic on there. I replaced it, of course, but that Plus 2 is in a drawer right now, and it's been there for years, and I have not checked the status of that 9-volt battery. If it leaked in there or exploded in there, you're going to have one unhappy camper over here.
Well, it probably hasn't done anything too bad. You can pull out, take that little toothbrush and some, baking soda and scrub the little connectors. You'll be good to go. But we're keeping our fingers crossed that your Rayovac 9 Lives battery that's been in there since 1978 is still good. We got you checked in. Over.
Hey, Mike?
Yes, sir.
R27 S23 not working?
Yeah, and there might be a little bit of a backstory to that operator error, maybe.
Okay, you figure it out, and then let me know, okay?
You got it.
All right, thank you, Harvey, and thank you, Mike, for checking in. The Old Tube Radio Network, we're at the Direct-to-Net roll call, and they're saying, why are you out center? I don't know. Oh, you know why? Because the foot switch is over here, and I need to be here. They're trying to center me up in the video. I don't, adding pictures to radio, this is radio. We shouldn't have to worry about lighting and makeup and putting on a funky seersucker jacket, but that's what happens when you stick pictures on radio. Remind me not to do that next time. 700 Weed Killer, top of the evening. Back to you from Fairborn, Ohio. Waiting for the radios to come on, as we all are. SWL 48, Sam, I got you earlier, I think off of Facebook, but we're checking in Sammy. I'm going to listen. He might be out there. Hello, 48. No, that's not 48. That's some skip land out there, but we got you checked in, Sam. Let's go to SWL 49.
Yeah, give him a proxy.
I was about to do that. They would be out here if they could. Sweet Smitty and Sweet Country Mama. Always sounding good. Always good audio on his radios. So we've got 49 in. Let's jump over to Sangertown. I heard him jump in a little bit earlier and sounding good. SWL 51.
SWL 51, checking in.
Yeah, here comes the skip land now, but you're making it through no problem. Dr. Dave out there in 305, somewhere near Sanger. Thanks for checking in.
Good evening.
And Rob, we used to say that all the time. Some folks have a great face for radio. That's why they are. That's why they are in radio. That's why I put on the jacket, so people will kind of, the attention will go down to that, saying, what is wrong with that guy? All right, let's go to 51 is in. Thank you, Dave. The Golden Microphonium, SWL 52, Aaron. I don't have a wah-wah pedal. I've got a dual silver switch foot switch that I was sort of hoping it would key two things at once, but it doesn't. It doesn't do that. I have to go in and undo the ground wire and rewire it, and then I think it'll work. I just haven't had time to do that. And if I had a wah-wah pedal, I wonder if that would make my voice do funky stuff. Road Dog 507. Yeah, the internet is slow tonight. Let me get to 41 with the official check-in. Thanks for joining us. We're still on your page, so you're not late. The Orange County React, of course, Hudson Valley, New York. Saying good evening to everyone. SWL 42, we got checked. Oh, I got to go back up. We're at SWL 53, over.
Yeah, good evening there, Dennis. 53 in the outskirts of Fresno, checking in.
Yeah, Fresno does that. I was driving the other day and I was in Clovis. You know, you have all the green street signs. And then I turned the corner and I was back in Fresno again. I think it's that, and you know about that. It's out in that Tarpey area. It goes crazy out there, over.
Yeah, 10-4, yeah, it's pretty windy over here, pretty windy. 73 there, Dennis, take care. 5-3, checking out.
All right, well, my antenna is still up. I'm going to work on, I've got a replacement for the Starduster. It's the new version, and they actually have improved a lot of the braking pieces and making it a lot easier to work with. So I may slip that up there and see if it gives me a better match. But it's still going to be low for a while. Let's go to page 3 for playing the home game, SWL 54. We've got a proxy check-in from Mr. Board Jammer going up the hill if I can make it through the skip for M&M.
55, checking in.
All right, 5-5, making over the skip with no problem. Thanks. Just for Kicks 56, a while ago, we'll listen to the replay. You will hear the voice of Mr. Phil. Let's go to SWL 57. That's BDA out of Central Kentucky. See what happens. Let's go to SWL 58. SWL 59, Uncle Hairball was in. He was one of the first people to jump in to the video here tonight. In fact, I think for some reason he came here first before he went to the old radio night. They might have had, I know what it was. Somebody was in his parking spot. He's got his own parking spot over there at 21SC, and I think somebody was parked in there, but he's doing okay now. So 59, we've got you checked in. Notice nobody has a parking spot here. The big red limo and the big blue limo take up all the spaces around here. Last week he was sounding good on the 291 radio station. What is he on tonight? Hello, SWL 60.
Hello, Dennis. Doggone it, we're on that 291 base there for sure. SWL 60 checking in, and good evening, everyone.
Sounds like a hippopotamus is trying to sneak in there. You're sounding good, Joe. So if you're in the Radio Shack later, we'll be opening up for the classic tube radios, and there's always space for a check-in. Thanks.
Well, thank you, Dennis. Doggone it, it was a pleasure last week listening to all those trams. I really got a kick out of it. Okay, Dennis, we'll be on the site.
Yeah, I like the fact that the check-ins from far out put us over the top for the manufacturer. We'll see if that'll happen tonight. Kind of quiet now. We're starting to get some gray line showing up. Let me go to, where's the DX map? Let me re-up the DX map. It has changed just a bit. See, the looks like a little bit up at Seattle. Moved over to Colorado, Wyoming, and down to maybe we'll get some Arizona and Southern California. We'll see what happens. It changes. It's that moving cloud. We are on Direct-to-Net roll call. SWL 60 checked in. 61 Dino checked in early. Let's go to SWL 62. I know I'll get the right page here. Anyway, let's go to SWL 63. And my internet is slow tonight. Let's see. Did I say hello to Greg? Oh, yeah. What's going on out there tonight? I see you on the page saying hello to the UDXers. Let's go to SWL 64. SWL 65. SWL 66, that was Witch Doctor. I went, and it's on the video. It's on the audio replay. We went down to channel 6 last night after the net, and there was Mr. Witch Doctor talking Skipland. I could barely hear him because he was on the flat side. So, Jim, if you're out there, are we getting you checked in?
Yes, sir, there, Dennis. I don't know if I can make it through all that mess, but I'll give it a try. Hey, Dennis, SWL 66, checking in on my old Hammerlin HQ 105TR.
You're sounding good on the Hammerlin HQ 105TR. I'm going to mark that down now because I have a feeling that this, you picked the right thing. It's going to be a Hammerlin night tonight. So 105TR, that means you've got the clock in there, over?
Yes, sir. It's got the clock, and I got the external speakers, the whole little set. I call it Old Faithful. It's always working. Thanks for letting me know you hear it.
That is a great radio. That has the SWL. It's basically the Hammerlin HQ 110, and they put the transmitter in there. I'll bring a picture up in a little bit when I redo the page here. But that is a classic radio. It's a great radio for an SWL, and always has, as we hear right now, that great low-frequency rumble audio. And, of course, Mr. Witch Doctor has the voice suited for that radio. Thanks for jumping up here on 085, a little north of the bowl, and saying hello, radio. And if you're, I think you're on the vertical side because you sound good. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. I don't have a ground plane up right now. I'm talking to you on the 7-element flat side, so it's a little hard hearing you.
Oh, you are on the flat side. Okay, well, that's why. You're definitely sounding good here. So thank you, Mr. Witch Doctor. We're getting your Hammerlin checked in as well, and thanks for joining us. Over.
And that'll be my Roger 73, SWL 66, back quiet.
Mr. Worldwide Witch Doctor, at least here in the Central Valley, sounding good. Always a treat to when he jumps up here onto the old tube radio network and we get a check in. Let's go to SWL 67, and I will check to see if Bill, about an hour ago from Canby, Oregon. Got you checked in, Bill. Maybe we will have some conditions up your way tonight. Thanks for stopping by. SWL 68, Michael, I think checked in earlier. I will get him on an early check-in, 68 out of New York. Let's go to SWL 69. Kenny did get an early check-in. He's got a couple of rigs that he is going to be selling. We'll talk about that. Let's go up the hill, if I can make it through Hippopotamus, for SWL 70. Mark, there we go. Mark will probably check in a little bit later when he gets into the air chair. I wanted to say, 700 weed kill. What is the link, he asked, to that propagation map? Let me bring it up because I don't know. It is DX. I don't know if that's the actual link, but it's try dxview.org. No, I'm sorry, hf.dxview.org, and see if that comes up with the page. I think it's from DX Maps, but if you get to the hf.dxview.org, that will probably take you to that particular page. Doing the directed net roll call, we'll be checking in radios. Electrocutus saying, and I that is something that stumps me as well. It says everybody wants to be on lower sideband, upper sideband, wide open, other than Europe. But that's sort of the band plan. When you get above 14 megahertz on 20 meters. That's you switch over. Some of the radios automatically switch to upper sideband. So maybe it's like an 11 meter outlaw thing. Well, we're going to go to lower sideband. But I agree with you. There's a lot of times and you can be on the same channel. If everybody's got a good receiver, you can be on upper sideband when somebody's on lower and have a conversation. SWL 71, I was looking to see if Stan had checked in yet this week. It looks like he is not there yet, so I'll keep my eye open for Stan. He's always a busy guy. SWL 72. SWL 73, I will get a proxy in for Mr. M.I. Sometimes he joins us via the crossband. SWL 74 on a proxy, taking us to 356 BYU, SWL 75. Somebody said proxy him, and I will do that. Next is SWL 76 out of Johnson, Rhode Island. All right, here's somebody on the crossband, but not coming in too good. Let's try SWL 77.
Well, good evening, Dennis, and all the listeners. And thanks for running the net, Dennis. And glad we could get in there and check in and wave a hand. 77 1017 checking in.
Good to have you on board the old Tube Radio Network. One of the Dennises. It's always nice to check in a Dennis, and we'll be waiting for the radios coming through tonight. Thanks. And Ron C. asking the question, but do you know why some bands are lower and the rest are upper sideband? I don't know. There may be a reason for that, and I bet it goes way back. But now remember, sideband really didn't start being a thing for the ham bands until the, I'll say the early 60s, although there was sideband before that. But most everything was AMCW. RTTY, whatever. So when sideband started, why did they have the switch at 14 megahertz? We'll find out, maybe. We'll research that. Let's go to Wildemar, SWL 78. Wonder what kind of weather they're getting in Wildemar tonight. Let's go to SWL 79. SWL 80. And they're giving me the little finger twirl. That is the speed up sign. They said, you're never going to get to the radios if you don't get this thing going. Okay, I will try my best. SWL 81. Speaking of ditch banks, SWL 82.
Yes, 82 is here tonight. Good evening, everybody, from the ditch banks of Iowa.
And I missed the net. I always think, well, maybe I can take a walkie-talkie to our venue and, check in, go outside. Now, I'm kind of up on a second story as it is where I'm at, but I'm inside a building, and I don't think you would hear me at all. So we got one more concert going on at the end of the month, and I should be back on the schedule for Friday night. Somebody said, Rob, up in Colorado, said they heard you, I don't know if he checked in, but he said he was hearing you guys last night out in Colorado. So it sounds like the net was a good thing.
Yeah, we had quite a few guys out and about there in other states. The boys from Squamish, they came in too.
That's good. I'm hoping we can get something like that tonight. Sometimes it's a little easier on sideband to make the trip. And then, of course, if you're talking to a station like Bones or like Ron that has a decent antenna, and a decent radio, you will always make it in. We're talking about the Ditch Banks sideband net most Fridays, starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on 27,365, 36 lower on your radio, whether it be transistor, tubes, homebrew, or otherwise. Thanks for checking in.
All right, Dennis, have a good net.
Over to, where are we going? SWL 83. getting the trio. Oh, trio plus one. SWL 84, 86, 87, and 88, respectively. Of course, that's Jerry Cheerios Kid, Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and the Snowy Owl. You can hear 84 Jerry on his classic tube radio, the Swan. I don't know what he's on. CX 500, 750. Most early afternoon or late mornings on the Jefferson Noontime Net on 7.204. Always sounding good. Let's go to SWL 89. SWL 90. Got a proxy check-in for 90. Let's see if SWL 91 is listening in tonight. And Mr. Felix, thank you. Looking good. I've got the X in the square. I think I did it right. Yeah, looking good. Thanks for joining us from way out there in the Bronx, as they say. And Bill, you're right. Collins did one of the first SSB back in the 50s with the Gold Dust Twins, the KWS. They had a KW one, which was their big AM transmitter, basically a broadcast transmitter for ham radio stuff. And then they came up with the KWS one, S for sideband. And it's a cool radio. It runs AM with single sideband. It's not a double sideband. You can switch it to AM carrier and upper and AM carrier and lower. And I think those came out in about 1955. And if you bought the matching 75A4 receiver, the reason they were called the Gold Dust Twins is because, they were a couple $1,000s? They were the price of a Ford Crown Victoria, basically. But sideband, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if we can get one of those here for the old tube radio network. That would be pretty cool. So thank you, Felix, for checking in. Let's go to SWL 92. SWL 93. Somebody said get a proxy for Mr. STD Lou. We will do that. He might be in a little bit later. 188. I don't know if he's on the flat side, the vertical side. He's on the digital side tonight. Got a check in there, Snow Beast, looking good, and we got you checked in right now. SWL 95, out there in Florida, I do believe. SWL 96, I was checking the Echo link to see if Kokomo Kurt was there. I don't see his call, but I'll get him checked in now. If he stops by, we'll pop him in on the Echo link. We've got a few people to talk to here coming up. Over to SWL 97. Hello, Jim out in Boston, if you're there. SWL 98, checking in Tracy from Central Valley Sea Beers on the Facebook page and everywhere else. 98, you are checked in. I didn't get a chance to check I'm so busy today, check any of the Facebook stuff or any of the other links for the check-ins there, but I usually do it after the net, and I will make sure that the X goes in the proper square. SWL 99, Randy, who stopped by last week, but we didn't have conditions. Might hear him tonight if he stops by. I'll get a proxy in for Radio Randy. I looked for him last night on 75 meters. I was going to say hello, but I did not hear his station coming in. So maybe tonight on 11 meters. Over we go to Echo Link. Let's see if I can figure out how to do the Echo link. Uh-oh. There we go. Figuring out the Echo link here, and we'll see if we can't get Tony for a Tubes on the Air report. KD4BAO from KB6GFD, over. Tony, of course, from McClellanville, South Carolina.
Hey, good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. It's good to hear you. Back to net control, KD4BAO.
And it's good to be heard, always sounding good on the Echo link. Thanks for firing up the filaments, getting ready for the tubes. And as always, thanks for joining us and doing what you do. 73 from KB6 GFD. And while we are at it, let me go to an Echo link and see if we can pick up Albert, see what's going on out there in Nevada. KI6CBA from KB6 GFD. Al, take a transmission over. See what's going on tonight.
Hello, Dennis. I hope my modulation is good. This darn modulation meter is flicking a lot, but I think I'm doing okay. And it's good to be with you and the shortwave listeners and the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm just so excited to see what radios come across your path tonight. And I'm wishing you best of radios and lots of customers. Okay, 73, KI6 CBA to KB6 GFD.
That's how they say it on CW, right? A VY73 to you as well. Albert sounding good. Audio is good. Looks like was bringing the REA meters up into the 100% modulation. So that's a good thing. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your weekend. 73 from KB6 GFD. Back to the direct-to-net roll call. The radios are coming up, so keep the tubes warmed up and don't go away. Looking for SWL 102, which of course is the ever-popular John out there in Arkansas. And he is right there, checking in, saying hello to all the shortwave listeners. Tube radio operators, let me click the button so it'll say that he is checked in. Beautiful. Let's go to SWL 103. Joey checking in over at oldtuberadio.net, which you can do. 73 in the SWLs, upstate South Carolina, where it's getting hot. Summer is here. Today, the first day of summer. Summer was not here, but it will be. Give it 2 days, and we will be there. I just read, John. I just read the cue cards that Chet puts up, and I wish he's not going to let me grab one, but that's what it says. The ever popular. So it's our staff playing little tricks on us here. Let's go over to all the way over to SWL 109. Over.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Hey, thanks for joining us. I know you are a busy guy. Running into the Radio Shack, or maybe strolling into the Radio Shack and turning on Channel 11 and saying, well, I might be able to hear that guy down in Midtown Fresno through the skip. There you are, sounding good. A little bit windy. A nice day today. Who knew it was the first day of summer? Anyway, thanks for joining us here on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. And it definitely was a nice day today, and you're sounding great tonight. The skips died out already. I can hear you pretty dang clear. Better than most nights, that's for sure.
Well, that is good. So they're being nice to me tonight. Thanks for checking in. Over to SWL 110. Over to SWL 111. And I was late tonight, so I will give Robert a check-in. He sometimes comes up to Central Valley Seabeer's page and check in. I haven't checked that tonight, but I will do that and get him checked in. SWL 113. And out and about for SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Sounding good as always, Wayne. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network, and you've got the check-in over.
Thank you very much for the check-in.
And did they turn the air conditioning off because it was so cool today? Maybe they got the windows open. Starting to get a little warm in here. Okay. Charlie says he will check on the cooling situation. It's not bad. Let's go to, where are we at? SWL 128. And John checked in about 20 minutes ago. Let me update the page and see what is going on tonight. We hit triple digits here today, possibly for the next couple of days. And it's still 80. And John, of course, is down in, or over in Fairfax, Virginia. So it is definitely summer. Thanks for checking in. And, another Hamelin tonight. Marty, Unit 1, Southwest Washington on the Johnson Viking Valiant 2. I got to bring up a picture. Does the Viking Valiant 2 still have the 11-meter position? The Ranger and the Valiant. I think the Valiant did. It was the Ranger that dropped. You know, those came out after 1958 or so, and they dropped the 11-meter position. But also in the Hammerlin HQ 140XA, you got to love the Hammerlin receivers. Oh, and the Henry 2K. So if you're on the Johnson tonight with the 2K, we might hear you. Keep it dialed into that 27 meg portion on the VFO. Shh, on your crystal control. Yeah, you stick a crystal in there for 085. That's how you do it. Because it's okay to talk DX now. Let's go over to SWL 131. SWL 133. Shortwave listener 135.
Hello, Dennis. SWL 135 checking in.
And sounding good. Speaking of good sounding radios, keep it warmed up because we're almost there. Over.
I will do my best.
$78. Hey, Richard, I see you. Let me go up the page here to get a check-in. Did you guys get the nice, cool weather? It wasn't even 80 degrees here in the Central Valley. First day of summer. So 78, we got you. Mark me outside of the box. Put the X. The X is a little skewed. It's up there in the corner, but I know where it goes. Where are we going? Oh, we're just about done here. We got up to 35. Oh, SWL 137 has a proxy check in. SWL 145, you heard Tony check in at the beginning of the net, and I skipped it last week because we were super busy. But I want to do it this week because he did send me some questions. So let me find the questions here. Yeah, Tony, we got you. I'm going to check our questions tonight. All right, here they are. 6-7, let me go to Lock to Talk. Are we there? Yeah, good deal. Questions tonight, quickly, courtesy of Tony. And if you heard these Friday morning, you know the answers already. Here we go. Number one, which space shuttle carried Owen Garrett into space? Or is it Owen Garriott? But anyway, which space shuttle carried Owen Garriott into space? I don't know. I don't know of Owen. Was he a ham? Most of the operators have 5 calls on the space shuttle because they're out of Texas. And I don't know if it's a requirement, but they get their ham license because there's a ham station or various ham stations on the shuttle. They do stuff for school participation, and there's some packet stuff as well. So was the space shuttle that carried Owen Garriott into space the Discovery, the Endeavour, the Columbia, or the Challenger? Anybody know that? Anybody a space buff out there? The question would be for which space shuttle carried Owen Garriott into space, and maybe it's some French mispronunciation I'm doing here, was the Columbia doing that. Challenger, Sputnik, it was the Columbia. So if you got that right, give yourself a mark on a plus mark. All right, number 2. If you are in contact with another ham whose location is antipodal, ANTIPODAL to yours. Antipodal? Anyway, if you're the antipodal, what is the other ham's location? So that's the anti is probably something. Is that the one where you're on? If you're on the globe, go to the round. I know, flat Earth. Go to the round Earth thing and then go draw a line straight through. Is that what that means? That's what I'm thinking. But I'm thinking that's what that is because I remember around here it's like Madagascar or something. It's like the farthest place you can be. All right, so if you are in contact with another station, we'll call it any station. You could be on your 11-meter radio, and you're talking to the antipodal station. Where are they? And the answer is they are on the a couple of answers. Everybody knows that. They are on the exact opposite side of the Earth. The location exactly opposite of Fresno is known as the antipode, is near Amsterdam Island in the southern Indian Ocean, where ham operators make contacts with someone near the antipode. They are engaging in DXing at the longest possible physical distance. So there's no long path and there's no short path. Or the long path is the short path, right? It's the equidistant because you're on the other side. So that's a lot of multiple hops to do that. So we'll see if we can't get a tube radio from the Indian Ocean tonight. Thank you, Tony, for the questions.
No, you're welcome, Dennis. And Owen Gary was the first ham operator to make contact from space.
Ah, very good. I know, the shuttles, all those 5 calls from Texas, and they make sure they're licensed up. So very good. Interesting. I never talked to that. I bet he's probably on a YouTube video somewhere.
Yeah, there's a good YouTube video out there. Matter of fact, if I find it, I'll send it to you. You got him checking in with Senator Barry Goldwater and King Hussein of Jordan on this video. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
All right, very good. Sounding good tonight. Thanks for the questions. Always enjoy them, and we had a couple of correct answers tonight, so good deal. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio, glowing in the dark. Richard said the antipodal for Fresno is the Bermuda Triangle. Sometimes I think that is like right here. I think we are in the Bermuda Triangle when I try and set all this equipment up. We are going back to the radio page. Tony is in, SWL 47. Neil is in already, SWL 188. Snow Beast Jr. Checked in as well. Also, SWL 195. Hello, Jim, if you're still listening. We got you earlier. And then over to Mr. Shockwave 226. I will get a proxy in for 226. Anybody else I missed before we jump into the tube radios? All right, good deal. I don't know why it took so long tonight because it wasn't very busy. I'm going to reset. I'm going to try and reset the video portion of this. So if you are on... No, I don't think it'll affect that. You know what? It won't affect that. It shouldn't affect that. So hopefully I will come back on the video because I've got the screen is locked up and it's not showing the radio pictures tonight, and that is kind of important for the video. So I'm going to reset this and see if we can get rid of the ICOM. The ICOM radios. Back in a couple of minutes for the tube radios. Don't go away. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, so if you're seeing me now, I'm gonna reset something on the OBS, and hopefully it will come back. So back in a couple of minutes. So if the screen goes, well, I don't know what'll happen, but we'll see. So back in a bit. All right, OBS, here we go. Doing that. I hope that didn't mess up my video link. We'll find out. Back to the chat. Oh! Waving my hand to see if we got confirmation. Good. All right, now we're going to go over to the page to see if it got rid of the other item of interest. Hey, all right, we're in good shape. All right, it worked. Thanks, everybody. I'll be back in 2 minutes with the right things. Rob says he just time traveled. I don't know what happened. I hope the link stayed up. I'm kind of a guy from the 1960s, so I don't understand this universal media netweb. But sometimes you click the mouse and it might work. I see your hand. We see you. All right, good deal. So we'll see the radios back in a bit. The old Tube Radio Network. I got to make sure their tube radios are ready. So let's give you something interesting to look at. The Orban loudness meter You can see where everybody's at. I'm bring the tube. I'm gonna bring up the tube audio here. Let me do the resets on the audio check-ins. Uh-oh, why isn't that coming back? There we go. We should have some double audio here soon. There we go. There we go. All right. And one more reset. Still here in Australia. All right, there's audio number 2. Looking good. And over to the REA meter and some jingle singers. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
As they say, your Old Tube Radio Network, looking at the REA negative positive peak meter with some asymmetrical AM modulation, seems to work good tonight. Over to the control room, and that is the one we want. It's cleared. We're ready for radios. I've got the tube list, and we are listening for any and all radio check-ins. Over.
135, 135.
All right, I've got 2. Let me go along to talk here. 135. We'll get you up and running. Cliff, step up into the air chair, and Joe, jump into the green room. Look for the little light to flash. That'll be your cue that we're finishing up, and you'll be jumping over to the air chair here. I heard the radio earlier, Cliff. It sounded good, and I think I know what it might be, but I will let you tell me, and then we'll talk about it. Get a picture of it, I bet. Go ahead.
Picture of it up somewhere. At least I hope so, or you got some picture of one. This radio is from Mars Hill, North Carolina, and it is the Hammerland HQ 205. That's Hotel Quebec 205. There are 11 tubes, but only potentially 6 channels. And the microphone I'm using is an amplified Silver Eagle D104 by Astatic Corporation. Back to you.
All right, we've got the picture of the very rare radio. We had checked in the Hammarlund HQ 105 TR. I'll bring a picture up that a little later. The HQ 205 is like no other CB radio. It looks more like a general coverage receiver, which is basically what it is, with a 10/11 meter transmitter in it. That's one picture. Let's see if I've got picture number 2. And it's not showing up, or if it is, it's off the page. Oh, okay. Let's go to image number 3. So I don't know why these images are not showing up. And image number 4. I'll go back to number 1. For some reason, all the great pictures I thought I would have aren't showing up. So something is very strange here tonight. Let me go back to the control. Anyway, forget me. Behind the microphone, take a transmission. We'll get a picture up here.
Okay, let's see. The range of this, it is essentially a shortwave receiver, and a darn good one, too. I was playing around with it last night and just having a great time. Listening to some hams on 20 meters and 40 meters. Listen to the guys on 36 lower side. In sideband, yes, this thing will do sideband. It's not selectable, but it does work. If you tilt your VFO, to the right, you can tune in upper sideband easy, and you turn it to the left of center, you get lower sideband easier. It's a technique to learn, but it actually works very well. It's a great receiver. Also picked up Radio New Zealand International right near 18 megahertz. And that range is 0.54. It's just below your AM broadcast band. Continuous coverage all the way up to 30 megahertz. And with a special thing on the band spread, just for the 23 channels of the CB band. Back to you.
Yeah, it's got a nice... do that. It's got a nice band spread. Let me see if I can close up to the dial. And yeah, using a BFO to get sidebands is a little tricky. The other thing is sometimes you get the AGC where it will it'll distort, and you have to go back to your, if you have an RF gain on there, you have to back the RF gain down to get rid of the distortion. So I can see the main tuning and the band spread, and sometimes you have to find the little key. I see the little red dots. That's sort of like, there's where you want to be, and then you go to your band spread and figure it out, right?
And dots on the if you're talking about the left dial, that's the coarse tuning or main tuning, and that those indicate the shortwave bands. There's other indicators for the ham bands, and then the band spread. If you put it, the main dial on the correct spot, the band spread really makes tuning in the ham guys really easy. You got all the room in the world. Back to you.
Sounds nice. A lot of knobs to go on, and the weird thing is I have pictures and they're here, but for some reason the one I'm showing, which you have a much better one where the radio is lit up. Let me see if I can swap it over here. I'm going to do some radio trickery and see if I can get it the hard way here. So I'll see if I can blow it up. So I'm going to paste that in there. We're going to bring that up. And there it is. Perfect. All right. That is the shot I want to look up. That is actually in your Radio Shack. The radio is on. Got the switches, the dials, and I see what you're saying about that S meter right up at the top. It's like they sort of threw it in because there was space.
Yeah, just barely. Very strange thing to do on the designer's part. It is a microscopically small S meter. I've seen bigger S meters on mobile, transistor CBs. It's dinky, but with the proper glasses that I'm wearing right now, I can actually read it. And you are above the 30 over. That's as high as this goes. It's pretty tight meter as well. There's not much distance between S9 and 30 over. It gets very crowded up there at the top. Back to you.
And because that's a different type of receiver, I'm running wideband AM, so it may not have as much filtering. It might actually sound pretty good if you've got the big speaker going on. I'm going to try another picture here, and it will be the back side of the radio. There it is. All right, back side of the radio, and you can see the little crystal door. So you can get, 6 channels? Or is it 5 channels? Anyway, you've got the transmit and receive crystals, so you can actually, instead of pulling the top off, you can go in the back of the radio, plug the crystals you want in, and I guess you can select them from the front. Backside of the radio also has, what's interesting, you've got the SO239 connector for what I'm going to assume is your transmit antenna, but you also have the classic lug, positive, minus, and ground for your SWL antenna, right?
Oh, yeah, and the great thing about this particular one, this model, you can leave your SWL antenna hooked up to the little A lug there, and leave your CB antenna hooked up to the SO239. One does not interfere with the other. There's a bunch of internal switching to prevent any problems with that. Yeah, if you switch over to shortwave and want to listen to all that kind of stuff, and you just have your CB antenna hooked up, you're not going to hear anything. But if you just hook up with an alligator clip of just a little 10-foot piece of wire, it's amazing. All the stuff you'll pick up. Your AM broadcast band is just packed. There's not a dead spot on the whole band. Right underneath that meter, there's an antenna tuner, so you can peak your receiver. Now, that just works on the receiver only, including this band. It peaks the receiver, but it's not a real tuner, so it has nothing to do with your transmit. Gosh, what was I going to say? The selector in the lower right. Yeah, it's 5 channels, crystal controlled, transmit and receive, or you can just use the transmit channels and the switch up above, the left switch on the right side, switches you to VFO, and yes, you get a nice, wide, beautiful receive sound on the VFO. When you switch to crystal, the receive is a little tighter. The external one you see near that knob for plugging in a crystal, that is for a 6th transmit channel. So you can incorporate other transmit channels if you've got the crystals. Back to you.
Very nice. Such a cool radio, especially if you're a shortwave listener. Like I said, you've got all the HF broadcast, AM broadcast bands. Maybe it was a bit too complicated for the average operator. It's like, I don't want to fool with all that. And it's certainly not, I think it's a pretty radio, but I mean, for the way things go, it didn't kind of match the radios we've seen, like the trams with the wood siding on it. Oh, and if you told me, I was probably not paying attention. I see a phone jack on the side. I don't see a speaker. And if you mention it, you're going to have to do it again because I was probably trying to write stuff down. Do you have to use one of the Hammarlund external speakers for that?
Technically, you do not have to use a Hammarlund external speaker, but you do have to use an external speaker. There is no speaker built into the radio at all. You must use an external speaker. I actually have a Hammarlund S100 speaker plugged into that phone jack. And technically what you're supposed to do is plug a like a 3.2 ohm. It's not that tight, really. In the back, there are your standard speaker lugs, for using little spade terminals. and you can do it that way as well. But I get the same response out of the phone jack, and it works as a headphone jack as well. So the world is your oyster. Back to you.
This is your oyster frequency, and Richard mentioned, thanks, Rich, 78 mentioned the 3.2 speaker. That probably sounds the best, but you can get that. I know some of the older radios, like the Helicrafters, always had a different ohm on the speaker. Also, the antenna terminals and S-meter adjustment. I'm looking for where that might be. And then that's the, like the octal plug there. That is for the microphone input over?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm currently using now. Interesting fact about the full-on octal mic plug. It has the little thing that keeps you from plugging it in wrong, and that's 8 pins, right? This and any other microphone, and I do have the manual. It shows very clearly there, how to wire up, just about any microphone to it. Only 3 of the pins are used for that. That's for audio and key up and everything. I just thought it was pretty strange. You got 8 pins. Again, most of them aren't hooked up to anything. There's only 3 of those pins that you ever wire any kind of mic to. Back to you.
Got it. I would love to run that through the audio board here. It's got some full fidelity, low frequency audio. I don't know if that's because the coupling caps in the audio are doing weird things. Maybe it doesn't do, the AM does some strange filtering, so it doesn't filter anything. I don't have a scope. I don't have the band scope to see how wide your AM is, where the audio frequencies are at, but it sounds good. And you said you're on the D104, which is typically a microphone that accentuates the high frequencies, but it has some... I always know that audio. It has that interesting Hammerland audio and sounding good. And DJ Lunchmeat says, just looking, that's the receiver I had, was the Hammerland SX22. I'll have to take a look at that because I've never really pegged what receiver it is. The HQ110 is the 105TR. That's just a 110. They stole the case off that. So we figured they did the same thing with this, stole some. So we'll have to check out the SX122. Lots and lots of shortwave listening. Thank you, DJ, for that information. All right, we'll go back to you. I see there's also, and I'm not zooming in on it, but like the little schematic on the back for the tubes. Do you have, or have you ever searched for an operator manual for that thing? Over?
Yes, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, I do have the manual.
All right, because someone, I mentioned that because someone just mentioned, I hope you've got it, but you actually do. So nice thing. Hammerland HQ205, don't really have any production numbers on how many they made. Was it 50? Was it 10? Was it 150? How many they sold? And we know there's at least 1 or 2 around, and one of them is right here in Central California. And occasionally shows up on the old tube radio network, and it is a cool radio. It turns some heads, and we like it. Over.
Yeah, they didn't make very many of them, and I think they were only made 1 year in 1967, from what I've read. But how many were actually produced is something that's a number I've never found. But I know there can't be too many of them. You just hardly ever see them. But it's just a wonderful radio. Hope you've enjoyed it. I have enjoyed checking it in today. Back to you.
Thanks for bringing it by. Let me see if it pops up on the screen here. Audio looks good. Nice signal tonight. I've got the super wide. I'm super wide receive at about 12K. Filling up the band pass, no problem. And I've got the attenuator on to keep the noise down, but you're good. The S7 with some attenuation going on the receive. From Hammerland HQ105. And where are they based out of, or where were they based out of again?
Well, according to the front page of the manual, it says Mars Hill, North Carolina.
All right, so yeah, we got some North Carolina stations listening in South Carolina. So there's your radio. We here on the West Coast, we've got the beautiful downtown Burbank General Radio Telephone, but Hammerlin fans out that way sounding it. Thanks for bringing it by, doing a good job.
Thanks for letting me check it in, and we'll see you next week.
The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's glowing in the dark. We are in Central California. 27085 is our frequency of choice. That's channel 11, because probably when you bought that HQ205, if it came with a crystal, it came with a channel 11 crystal. Jingle singers are going to do their thing, and then don't go away. 60 Joe will be coming to you.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. The friendliest station for you by far is known to all, and
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, and maybe even you. Thanks for listening tonight. And Joe, are you still out there? Over.
Thank you, Dennis. Doggone it. Really like that radio there Cliff was talking on. Evening time to all. Dennis, for my first radio, I'd like to check in my Robin 23-channel Citizens Band transceiver. The Robin T123B bass or mobile?
Base or mobile, you got to have, I guess, the right connector. Make sure you get that 12-volt DC-DC conversion. I'm going to go to the Rolodex here and find the Robin. I know we got a great picture of that. It's the 123B, so this is the Panasonic 2 chassis. Let's see if the pictures will show up tonight. Yeah, okay. At least that one's working. I don't know what was up with the Hammerlin, but we'll give Cliff some more airtime here on the radio. This is from his collection, but it is similar to what you got. It's the Green Machine. Back to you.
That's right. Totally the Green Machine. 11 tubes, Dennis. 11 tubes, all 23 plus some extra channels.
And the extra channels, we don't show it here, but there are a couple of switches. I guess they're little silver flip switches that are those on the front of the radio, or do you have to go to the back for those?
Oh, they're directly on the front. In fact, one's right just next to the meter, on the right side of the meter, and there's another one next to the external speaker light. Those two little switches are black. They're just like the ones you would switch on your microphone when you wanted to go from one to the other. You'll find them a lot of times on the bottom of a Turner Plus 2 or something. When I say plus, we have some extra channels in here with those switches. About 9 extra channels. We've got some great features on the radio. Right now the mod light is on. She's a blinking. Text light is on solidly. And a few other extra lights, like your external speaker would have one. Your PA speaker would have another. 11 tubes. Like I said, bass or mobile. We're on a preamplified D104. 20.
And I hear you, Harvey. We'll put you down for Radio 3. No problem. Be right with you. If you're watching the video, there's the box that comes on. It's a nice box. The 5-watt, 23-channel Citizen Band radio. Anybody remember their first radio when they got that box, carrying that box out of the store into the car, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to open this up. 40 years ago, 50 years ago, and here's the radio you would pull out of it. Get yourself on the air. Probably some paperwork with it for your license if you had to fill out a license and an instruction manual. And you were good to go. And I've told you this before, Joe. It's the looks and performance of tomorrow by the designers and engineers of today. And what's funny is that today, I don't know if any of the engineers and designers are left, but tomorrow is now, and it's still performing. Over.
Oh, that's good. That's great, Dennis. Doggone it. That is very much true. I wish I'd have had this 30 years ago, 40 years ago at that. When I first started CB in there back in the early 70s. I just can't imagine not even being near this radio. I would have loved to have to do whatever we were doing at that time, shooting skip or just normally, talking with the locals. But 11 tubes, Dennis, and a few other features in the back. This radio is just full of features as far as that goes. You have your meter adjustment. You have your phono jack back in the back there for, I would say, an extra PA speaker, but that is the large jack. And also you can do a little peeking and tweaking. There's a hole there. Don't have to take the cover off. Just be imaginative with a screwdriver, I guess.
Yeah, okay, couple of questions before you go. You always make a couple of stations happy when you check in on the Robin, the green machine. We got a station, you know who she is, out there that likes the green radios. She's listening in right now. Also, let's see, Dwayne wants to know, because, that he knows he's got one. The radio runs hot, so if you haven't had dinner yet, he's thinking you've got that extra heavy-duty aluminum foil, and you've got the steak and the potatoes and the carrots wrapped up on top. I'm giving you an extra long transmission to make sure you can cook your steak to just the way you like it. And, of course, Foxman, I always get a kick out of Foxman, calls it the Batman radio. So Robin, maybe this is the radio that's in the Bat Cave, because it has the name Robin on it, and Batman is wondering, where the heck is my radio? Anyway, back to you for transmission. It always sounds good. Over.
Well, thank you. And no doubt you could cook a very nice steak up there on the top. I don't have it close to my other radios because of the heat. And I've noticed when I've had it on for an hour or two, you can't even touch the knobs on this thing. They should have done something about that. But it does run hot. And I did forget to mention, I was going to key this one up and hope that Christy was listening. Okay, Dennis, I'll get another one checked in.
All right, thanks for that. Radio number 3, as a matter of fact. That's Joe on the Robin T123 Bravo. That, if I turn the card over here, 11 tubes. There is an operator's manual and a schematic, it says, if you go to oldtuberadio.com, somewhere around that. And that uses the 6 BQ5s, the 12AX7, and the audio, and 2 transistors, weighs 17 pounds, and was produced from 1972 to 1976. And the only reason they stopped doing it is because the FCC said you can't do those 23-channel radios anymore. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You're listening in the latest style.
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
All right, according to the Jingle Singers, probably only stopped in Fresno to pick up gas, but they say it's a wonderful Fresno, so I will go along with that. You were listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
20.
And Harvey, yes. He was waving. He said, don't forget Harvey. And Harvey made sure that we don't forget Harvey. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I just want to do this one quick. It's a Robin T123B. I just almost finished it up. Got to do a little bit more. Receive is a little off, but we'll see what I can do with that. But it's basically done. How's the audio?
Audio is excellent. Over.
Okay. Range boost on now. How's that?
That's even better. If you would have told me it was on before, I would say, yeah, I believe you. It definitely came up all the way around. Good.
All right. Okay. Coughing as usual. Alrighty. I don't need it, so there we go. Okay. Frequency-wise, I can't tell. It should be okay. What do you think there, Dennis?
All right, do the frequency check again. This radio is far across the table, and I've got a button I have to press. It's behind something. So do it again, and we'll do the old ZB. The old ZB on CB for the 0 beat. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, our SWLs heard it as I went to lower sideband. Sometimes they'll do a lower and upper sideband, but 270847. So I would say you've got, what is that, 30? No, 250, 300 cycles low, but that's well within range. Over.
Okay, it can be adjusted. If I have to go underneath again, I take 6 screws out, so I may not do that. It's close enough. As most people who work on these know, the tuning inductor cores are cemented in, or a little glue thing, or some kind of little white or red cement, keep the cores from moving. Well, sometimes you need to retune, and those cores are in there tight, and I don't want to break them. So this may stay the way it is, but. Okay, Silver Eagle D104 with it. And hopefully if the person still wants it, it's going to a new home.
Yeah, nice audio. I'm going to put up the Orban loudness meter. And so when you come back, leave the range boost off, take about a 10-second transmission so we can get the level below full scale, and then turn on that range boost and then talk another 10 seconds. I want to see, because it sounds good. I want to see how much extra level you get with the range boost. Either way sounds good, and it's doing a good thing. So first will be the non-range boost and then the range boost, and we are looking at the Orban loudness meter, and we're looking up at the LKFS to see what numbers we get. Go ahead.
Okay, here we are. This is with the range boost off. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Range boost is off, and then the range boost is on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was bad in math.
Good deal. Good 3 dB as we approached back to that the 0 full scale. So good deal. It works nice. I don't hear any distortion. It would change, depending on the microphone you have. So it's working. I think it's adjusted well. Sometimes they're adjusted so you have to turn them on. Sometimes they're adjusted for a non-amplified mic. So you got to do it. And sometimes they're adjusted for an amplified mic. So if you have it on, it's too loud. So I think you've got it just about right. Over.
All righty. Sounds good. I know what I have to do for the receive. It's just, will I be able... Oh, I released the mic. That wasn't a good thing. Okay, I know what I have to do. I just hope the radio will let me do it. Okay, talk to you later. Thank you.
All right, thanks for stopping by with that one. I'm surprised that the band, the channel, is still very quiet. Let me bring up the DX map. I really thought we were going to have some conditions here tonight. Where's the map? I think it's over here. No, it isn't. Is it? Oh, wrong DX map. And that's not even there. All right, I don't know. I've got some strange... I know what happened. You know what? I think I know what happened. I'll fix that. Anyway, I'm not seeing the map that I want. It should be... What are we looking at? Map. It'll be that one right there. There we go. And let's move it over. It's almost like I've done this before. Like I know how to set this stuff up. So it's weak. Notice we're heading out towards the bottom of Nevada, Utah, and Colorado. So maybe Rob is hearing us tonight, but we're not getting any of the DX up to the north for Squamish or Idaho or anything like that. So if you're listening to us, Rob, we're heading your way. Anyway, the Old Tube Radio Network, we're listening for radio number 5.
14.
All right, we've got 2. We've got Sean, 14. I'm putting you in for radio here, and step up to the air chair. And then Joe, we'll get you after we go to Sangertown. So let me write you in. See what's going on in Sangertown tonight. You are sounding good. I got the Rolodex ready. What radio have you got for us? 14, over.
Okay, well, I'm curious if you can hear the relay chatter when I first key up, but we'll get back to that. I'm on the executive Robin T240D, which is the hottest running radio I've ever encountered. In fact, when I was sitting here, I grabbed the channel selector knob, and it's so hot if you leave your fingers on there, it'll burn them. So eventually I'm going to go out and get my temperature gun and see what the channel selector knob, the face, and the top of the radio you can't even touch. I am on a amplified D104 desk mic, and I do have the range expand on for this transmission. Back to you.
All right, well, for some reason my Rolodex isn't functional tonight, but I will bring up a shot. There we go. That's the yellow bird. We had the green bird, and so the 240D, I'm going to say it was pretty much the same internal stuff going on, but they had to put in some crystal synthesis or PLL or something to get all the 2040 channels. But it's a pretty radio, so you need special asbestos gloves when you're working that thing, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a radio. I've seen these radios around. I didn't realize they were 40 channel. It's a color that I'm not fond of. In fact, it dawned on me today, my ex-wife had painted my kitchen this color of yellow, and it's not a color that I really care for, but I really like the 40 channels compact radio. It appears to have good swing and modulation, and it does have the stand that goes on the bottom of it and lifts it up, and it's also painted the same color yellow, so I would assume it's the original stand. But can you hear the relay chatter in my amplifier when I first key this thing up?
Go ahead, and we're going to listen. Give it a key up and don't say anything for a second or two. We'll see if we can hear the relay over. Actually, I hear more of a crunch. I hear more of a crunch on the unkeyed, but it's pretty quiet when it keys up, at least for what we're hearing. Over.
Okay, I was curious. We stuck a little prong in there and tried to bend things to make it get a little stiffer, but it worked for a little bit, but now it's back to chattering my amplifier, and I know it's the radio because I've got 3 of those amplifiers. It's doing it on all 3 of them. But it's a nice radio. It's in good condition, and it took a long ride, apparently. Harvey acquired it through one of his contacts that was at a ham swap meet in, I think it was Illinois or somewhere far away. This thing took a ride to get back to the town. Here it is on OTR.
Sounding good, too. I'm going to assume you have the range expand on with that?
Yeah, that's correct. Range expand is on, and range expand is now off. So that is the range expand off. And back on, that is the range expand on. And I can see it produce a little more on the needle over here when I flip the switch.
Yeah, you can hear the difference. Sounds good either way. It's probably almost not enough with it off and almost too much with it on. No, it sounds good. I don't need distortion. So you've got it set up correctly, doing a good job. And yeah, maybe that's a radio for a taxi cab, for one of those yellow cab companies. That would be the radio they would use. Over.
Yeah, possibly. So I'm really curious to hear the YouTube and hear how it sounds, because that Robin T123 I got from Ed, I love the way that radio sounds. So if this one is anywhere near that, and then with the 40 channels on top of it, it should be a real pleasure to operate this radio.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because we sit here as shortwave listeners, myself, and look at the radio. But when you're in the driver's seat, when you operate those things, I mean, from the fact that you could have a Johnson Viking Whiteface and you've got one knob and a couple of channels, to something like this where you've got more controls, or the Hammerlin HQ205 where you've got to dial the thing in and get the band spread correctly and make sure the VFO is where it needs to be. So it's always fun to get in and drive the radios, and which one you like and which one you don't, and how it sounds. That's part of the fun of being an operator. So even if you just have one, and like an old car, right? You can have one, you can have many. There's a little bit more work when you have many, but once you get kind of into that mode, they're not as scary. A lot of good comments on the audio coming from that yellow Robin, the T240D. And I am looking to see if I have another picture of that. Well, we'll stay with this one. Pretty radio, always good audio. I believe that it's plate modulated on the AM, so you can't go wrong. Back to you for a transmission, and thanks for bringing it by. You will enjoy the sound with or without the range boost.
Yeah, I appreciate the time for it. The only the out of the ordinary is I had Harvey wire it to a 4-pin Cobra microphone. That way it's very convenient for me. I'm starting to get a massive collection of adapters and all different kinds of things. So yeah, nice radio. I'm going to go check it out on the replay right now. Thanks for putting this together for us. Great forum that we have here for these radios, Dennis. Appreciate the time tonight.
Thanks for bringing it by. I was hearing Skipland coming in on the gray line from Hawaii. It sounded like, well, we can't get the conditions we need up and down the street. We'll see if we get something before we get off the air tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network, Jingle Singers. Let's stand by with the Jingle Singers. I want to get Joe in before it gets too late. 60, take a transmission. We'll find your radio and put it on here.
Okay, now I think I found the radio. I know we've dealt with a couple of grain ones, and I want to just change the color a little bit. I'd like to get on my pretty blue one from World Radio Labs, the Hustler Bass.
You guys are keeping me busy tonight. I was looking to see if we had a Hustler on our regular one, and we don't. So I'm going to bring up the tried and true picture that we use of the blue radio and jump it in here. So take a transmission, and we'll get the radio up.
Okay, Dennis, my pretty little blue radio here has 7-hole tubes. We've got a few decals on here, a few switches, and 4 knobs, and a crystal slot. I don't know what exactly is on the crystal, but it's in the slot. Has about a 2x2 speaker, and your meter runs vertical. It's kind of a nice meter on it. It has a pretty red light on, but it flickers. It doesn't tell me it's from modulation. It just tells me that the radio is keyed up. It does have the carrying handles on it, and it does have the mic hanger on it, so it could possibly go mobile if you'd like.
Yeah, I don't have a backside to that. Typically, it either has to have a vibrator, or it's got to have some DC to DC conversion. So it might have. You'll know if you try to go mobile, the thing will go boo. You hear a little buzzing, and you'll think, oh man, should I turn it off? It's like, well, no, the little vibrator thing doing its mobile stuff. So good deal. I mean, for 7 tubes, and you get an S meter. And, it doesn't have 22 channels, but it's got the crystal thing in front and a little tuning dial. It was a good deal. Probably a good deal back in the day. And it's a favorite. Because, again, we're getting some rare radios tonight. Things you don't see a lot of and things you don't hear a lot of. And some great companies like Leo Meyerson, Globe, and World Radio Labs. It is radio number 6, I believe, tonight. And so Take a Transmission. Sounds good. You got it in time.
Oh, good deal. It's a little bit on the dark side when you see it because of the only 7 tubes in it, and they're not very big. So you almost got to have a light up under it to see it, the way you'd like to see it. The mic. The jack for the mic there in the front, it originally came with the mic hooked up underneath the radio. It was kind of a poor setup because when you set the radio down, it kind of would crease or mess with the mic cord. But Harvey fixed that right where it says Labs. He installed a mic jack there, and it's a Cobra mic plug, so you can run a 4-pin microphone if anyone you'd like, and it's on a Turner Plus 3. It's operating on a Turner Plus 3.
No, it's really good audio. If you ever listen to the playback, it's not picking up a lot of room noise. Doesn't sound tanky or boxy. It's not. The radio isn't flat topping. Some of the Hallicrafts you got to be careful, and they'll get that flat top sound. But it's really good. So however you have it, it's like don't touch a thing. It's ready to go. And it'll be set up for next week. Our radio number 6 from World Radio Labs. That's Leo Meyerson. Look up that name. You'll find a guy that knows his radios and was, I guess, inventive enough to take 100-pound, 500-watt radios and kind of mold them down into 5-watt DC input for the 11-meter band. And we're glad he did. Sounding good. Back to you for transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Well, thank you, Dennis. It's always a pleasure. Like I said last week, I was really intrigued by the tram radios and learned a lot about them and good sounding radios. And you made that all possible. Okay, Dennis, thanks a whole lot there. I'm going to jump on this news a little bit on 26. I guess our boy Trump did a little damage. He did a little something there to Iran. I hope people have been following the news. He kind of took care of business.
All right, well, we're getting ready to sign off here, so people will be able to check that out. We're glad to do a little business here, checking in the radios tonight. I wanted to say, Gary, hello. He's running his homebrew 10 watt on 40 meters. What guy? You're on 7290. So you're like the Midwest, the West Coast. We use 7293. I don't know if I'd be able to hear you. Sometimes I will listen to the AM guys on the SDRs, the 7s and the 9 calls that I can't quite hear on the West Coast. But running good. I actually did some 40-meter AM the other day, so good for you. Hope to maybe catch you out there on the frequency. Also said it's straight key night. Is that going on the context? It's not on the... Let me go to the... Just so you know, I'm using my... I'm going to lift it up here and try not to take myself off the air. There it is. You can't really see it. Let's put some light on it. I've got the J38 key going on the desk here tonight. Can you see it? Can you see the J38 key? It is actually on and keyed up right now. But that's my J38. So maybe I'll have to do some straight key night. Popcorn 913, thanks to you. That sounds good. The machine is going in the green room, so we might... try some of that. I was waiting for the skip to come in tonight, so who knows? Anyway, anybody else before we jump out here on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight? Over.
This one.
You have, as Pat Paulson used to say, I have this to say about that. So go and key up that one. Over.
Okay, you know what it is. It's the Golden Beagle, R68T68 from Browning Laboratories, D104 unamplified with the Browning medallion on the back of the head of the D104. Okay, Had to get that one in. I know the Robins are going to win, but that's okay because I put one up too. Alrighty, catch you next week, Dennis. And remember, I still have the 2 Brownings Mark IIs for sale. Okay, talk to you next week.
Sounding good. There's the quickie picture. That's the transmitter receiver of the smaller, not the Mark III, but the R68, T68 Mark II of the smaller AM-only transmitter paired with the receiver. These radios were in the, $400 range back in the mid-60s, sort of before that little inflation thing started happening. Yeah, $395, 1967 to 68. There was a Series 2 transmitter, lighted on-the-air light. There was a Series 1 with a little bit different. There was a speaker that you can see in the shot here that went with it, and you could actually get a wood cabinet to put them all in that. So let's see. If people want to get a hold of you, I may give out some information on that. There may be a couple people that would like to question you. We have some questions to you about that, the Mark IIs that you got over.
Okay, I'm available anytime. I'll be up for a while tonight, and I think I'll be up around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning or something like that. Anyway, yeah, that should about do it then. We will catch you next week.
All right, we'll do some counting and mounting. Mr. Nobody is waving a hand. Harvey said it was nice to talk to you last night in Skip. So you were out there talking Skip the other night, huh?
Yes, I was. We were on the 240D over at Sean's house, and Mr. Nobody came up and said hello.
Yeah, he's waving the proverbial CB hand again. It was a good time hearing you guys out there on the big Sanger station. So that's good. I was hoping we'd have some conditions tonight, but the DX cloud is kind of going strange places. So we'll clear out. I mean, there are going to be some stations here on 11, and I'm thinking the band might open up so people have a chance to talk. Jingle Singers, speaking of a chance to talk, let's do this, and I'll be back with some counting and mounting.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
It was either Skip or somebody semi-local was trying to say something just about a minute ago, Dennis.
Okay, I'm listening. Obviously, I can't hear them when I'm talking, but I'm listening now.
I have a comment.
All right, Joe, I know what radio you're on, so hang in there. It's warming up, and the comment, the comment from that station that talks DX out in Sanger. Go ahead.
Okay, so I ran out to my truck, got the Fluke infrared meter. My channel selector knob is 112 degrees, and the top of the Robin is 140.
That's a cautionary tale right there. Over.
Yeah, I just thought I would share. It was hotter than I thought it was even, so interesting.
Hey, Sean?
Goat head.
If you keep it on any longer, it'll be 240 degrees.
Yeah, that might register. Yeah, it's been on a while. I think it's topped out at 140.
Now, as things go, in the world of transistors don't like heat. That's why they have heat sinks. But in the world of tubes, the tubes like it hot. So not going to have a problem with the tubes. The issue is the other component parts and the transformers and things that are close to whatever's going on. So maybe they're using the cabinet as the heat sink. But I never hear anybody complaining that they burned up the transformer, or there's any parts melting off of that. So there must be some pretty decent paint on there for it not to bubble up. Speaking of decent paint, let's go over to Joe. Take a transmission, and we'll see if it is working. Over. SWL 60, fire up that E.F. Johnson, over.
Thanks so much, sir, Dennis. Doggone it, kind of got caught off with that TV a little bit. But real quick, we'd like to check in our messenger, T00. The Johnson Messenger T00, 10 tubes and 10 channels.
So it's the 2, 10, and 10. All right, having some trouble with the Rolodex tonight. There it is. And we're talking about radios that you got to tune knobs and check crystals. Then there's radios like this, where you've got an on-off squelch. There is no meter. I guess you do have to figure out if you're on the same transmit and receive channel, right? That's the first thing you got to do, over.
Well, most definitely. Sometimes I get lost there. I go on the alphabet side there, forgetting where I left off, whether it was frequency C, D, or E. So we kind of have to play with the radio a little bit. I'm on a Turner Plus, a D104, preamplified D104, and there is a light that comes on. It's an indicator light that you know that you are on the air a little bit, but sometimes it blinks, and I'm not sure if that would be some type of modulation light. Maybe somebody put it there, or it's just a light behind the screen.
Well, there's probably a light bulb that may or may not burn out someday, so you will know, over.
Neon light modulation light.
Oh, good deal.
Well, the neon light should last for a long time.
I hope so. We'll start to probably start to panic when we don't see it anymore, and we'll run it right straight to Harvey there and make sure, and maybe even change the color of it. But Dennis, thanks a lot for letting me check in radio number 4 on my behalf. Doggone it, it made a complete evening for me, and have a good night. Really enjoyed the net tonight, and we'll get back to the television.
All right, that sounds like we got some competition for OTR tonight. That's no problem. E.F. Johnson, Edgar F., back in, 1923, opening up a little radio shop that could, and here it is, we're 100 years later in the 21st century, and his stuff, his creations are still sounding good in the neighborhood. Who was it that is working on a radio? Oh, Steve says he's working on a Simba right now. The Pierce Simpson Simba. This is the early 70s, 71, 72. Tube radios are sort of going by the wayside, although we checked in a couple tonight from the 70s. But companies like Pierce Simpson and Midland and Pace making the solid-state radios, and especially Pierce Simpson with the Simba, where you had all sorts of knobs and the clocks built in. Just cool-looking radios. So the tube radios had a tough time competing with that. They might have sounded better on the inside coming out, but when you just had something sitting on the table looking pretty cool, like that Simba with the clock, I think that's what made people start saying, well, maybe the tube radios are the old stuff. But that's why we're here, because it's like the old cars. New cars, yeah, they're safer and lots of cool stuff, and they don't go wobbling down the road, but they look cool, and they're fun to drive, just like these radios. The Jingle Singers are going to do what they do, and we'll be right back with some counting and amounting.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Cliff, are you still outside? Ah, that hurt. I guess not. Okay, we're out. Bye.
All right, and I will jump in. Where's the control camera here? There we go. All right, sounds like, is my audio? sometimes these headphones, okay, I guess we're okay. They sort of phase distort out my audio, and I never know if it's correct. So this is the thing I want. Let's jump out of here tonight. A lot of stuff going on, so people need to get back to the current events, as it were. Tonight we had 17 check-ins on page 1, 18 on page 2, 19 on page 3. We got a pattern here in 22 on page 4 for a total of 74. This is the last week of the 8-week period, so we'll look for a new 00 from those that had perfect attendance for the last 8 weeks. Thank you, Robert and Teresa, for jumping in and getting us started off for the last 8 weeks. Looking for the tube radios here. Are we still on? Yeah, I see the red light. And the most heard manufacturer tonight was indeed the Robins with a triple play coming up. Started up with the Hammarlunds. We have enough Hammarlunds around that we could make them the number one most heard radio, but you'd have to really try for that HQ205. If you're trying to remember that number, look that one up from Hammarlund, HQ205. One of a kind. One of their shortwave receivers that they put in the 5-watt DC input transmitter. It may have also been set up to run 10 meters as well. I think the HQ205, or the 105 was there. And then Witch Doctor checking in during the roll call, which is HQ105TR. And I said I was going to bring up a shot of that. So if you're not familiar with that, that one is the one that's got the clock. It's an HQ... It's basically an HQ110. There it is. Let me swap the picture out. But that's it. It's the HQ110. His was the TR. It has the clock. You need the external speaker with it, but it's the same style. The band spread, the shortwave receiver tuner with the jacks in the back for the antenna. Pretty cool radio. So if you can find one in good shape, I've seen a couple of those at swap meets that are less than stellar on the outside. So I guess you have to kind of wonder what they might be like on the inside, but pretty cool tonight. So thanks for the Hammarlunds tonight. Also listening to Joe on Radio 2. He's on the Robin T123B, as was Harvey on the west side for his number 3 radio, our number 3 radio, his number 1 radio, the Robin T123 Bravo. The Robin T240, there was a lot of people cooking dinner tonight on the Panasonic chassis from Robin, so it's probably just about ready to take off and be served. Thanks to Sean for radio number 4. From World Radio Labs, Leo Meyerson, the Hustler on the Hustler. Thank you, Joe, for radio number 5. Radio number 6, Harvey on the Browning R68, T68 Golden Beagle. Hamlin HQ105TR, I mentioned that from Witch Doctor. Always good to hear that. And then we have concluded with the E.F. Johnson. For you E.F. Johnson fans, the Messenger TWO, an upgrade from the Messenger 1, the white face, adding some better AGC and AVC and some extra receive and transmit channels. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Hopefully you get a chance to get on the air where you are with something like this. The bands have been pretty good. Cycle 25 is still trying to figure out what it wants to do. If you are studying for an upgrade or your first foray into the ham radio world, keep it up. Bands are always open, and I hope to catch some of you who are radio active on those bands coming up if I can get into the air chair. Good morning to Hans. Good morning to some of you signing off from far out, and a good late afternoon and evening, depending on which side of the Pacific Ocean you are on. The Old Tube Radio Network will catch you next time. I was going to see, I mentioned we were going to try some a tribute. And let's see if it's around. Oh, maybe it's not there. I was looking to see if Espresso Trucking Company was in the mix here tonight. and I don't see it. I'll have to find them out because I wanted to do a little tribute. We'll find that anyway. Maybe next week if I can find it. You're listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. They're waving at me. They're saying it's time to say goodbye from the Old Tube Radio Network. So where is that? It used to be there. Aha, I might be able to find it on here. Where did they go? Okay, doesn't want to do that. Uh-oh. This isn't good. Oh, you know what? I can't do that when it's on there. I may not be able to end my stream here. I think I just blew up the radio. Are we still on? Test radio, we got some audio. Let me go to the other item here. 667. All right, no, it's still showing there's audio. I know. That's Windows for you, right? Maybe when I sign off, we'll get the opening DX opening window. I'll be listening in. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it says you're still on. I can see the audio running. It was giving me a little tone like it says, you've just blown up the computer, but I say I haven't. All right, good night, everybody. And we'll see what's going on. We'll all be hopefully here next week. The Old Tube Radio Network.